And now, Jabroni Studios, in association with Big Herm Productions, is proud to present to you, recording from an undisclosed location in Oakdale, Connecticut. It's Chris Burns. It's Chris Lynch. This is Dysfunction Junction.
Did it sound good? Because it sounded good.
It sounded good.
I thought it sounded great.
I thought it sounded good.
This is Herm's show, ladies and gentlemen, so let him tell you what's going on.
Well, we had an election, and I started thinking about things. This isn't a we lost. This isn't a why did somebody lose. This is me looking at everything that we've seen throughout this campaigning season and through this election cycle, and I have questions about myself, and I was hoping you guys could help me the fuck out because I'm a little confused.
Okay.
Obviously, El Presidente Trumperino won, and
El Mango Mussolini.
El Mango Mussolini is going to be the next dictator in chief.
Listen
I started looking at what brought him there, and I have problems. I'm wondering if I'm just stupid. All right. Or look, somebody's got a picture.
Hey, we haven't even done the intro for everybody, and he made it back
now
on
I can't
time.
fucking hear you.
You can't hear?
What the fuck?
You got to be able to hear. You can't hear? No sound?
I can't hear you.
Hold on.
We can hear you.
Fucking cocksucker.
I'm glad you just got to tell that to all the people out there.
Absolutely. The people are very happy with that. So he can't hear us yet?
No, he
It
cannot.
says you've got it says we can hear you. I don't know why you can't hear. That's
what the fuck?
Ladies and gentlemen, just for a heads up and a clue somebody in, we're all right. Jen says that on Facebook she can hear us. But the problem is Lynch can't hear us too. The two of us. We're trying new software tonight, so for streaming. So please bear with us. Well, and here's my issue. Here's what it comes down to.
Before you do that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dysfunction Junction.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Dude.
Fuck yeah.
This is one of those episodes where it's just going to be different. It's not going to be as heavy as the last couple weeks, but it's not going to lack for heaviness. Let's put it that way.
No, let's see. All right.
It'll be different.
Hey,
there we go.
What do you got? 1, 2, 3, nothing?
4, I got you.
Oh, shit. Third try's the fucking charm, bitch. All right, so let me clue you in. We already introduced everybody. Her blinking, her.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Where am I? 11.
This is the
Fuck, no.
Abuse. If Megan's abusing you, just nod your head.
Put a little cross thing behind your back when somebody walks by. I've seen those videos.
All right, so here's the thing. We've just come through a cycle on the election, and I'm doing a little introspection, a little reflection, and I've taken in everything that we've all taken in, and I have some questions about myself, and I'm wondering if I am the asshole or a unicorn. I really didn't vote for a party in any specific way. I had an issue I voted on, but here's my other problem is that I hear so many people talking about they here it is. We're going to say it again. We're going to use this bullshit. They can't afford to buy bacon. They can't afford to buy eggs. All right. I see a lot of people talking about how horrible the economy is, how horrible things are going. Now, I've watched a lot of this be spewed by people that make entirely more money than I do a year. Entirely. By a very large amount. People that are my friends that I know make triple digits, and we're talking like big triple digits. All right.
What up, Chaka, in the comment section? Hope you're doing well.
So I
Chaka,
don't. Nobody can. How is it that I am not offended by the price of bacon and eggs? How is it that I'm not screaming that America is horrible and I somebody needs to fix my situation? I want to know, gentlemen, if and I know I'm not because I don't have enough money. Am I the rich fucking elite now? Because I don't feel rich fucking elite.
No,
And, or do we have people that are making 3 to 4 times the amount of money that I'm making that have made very piss poor life decisions, made very piss poor financial decisions, have overextended themselves with credit, and now want the government to fix them? Or am I just a fucking unicorn? Am I the only motherfucker in the food industry that can afford bacon and knows why it goes up?
More than likely. Am
Am I the asshole here? Seriously.
Listen. The people who scream the loudest, it doesn't fucking affect. They're virtue signaling because that's what everybody else around them is saying.
But that's kind of where I'm going. I see a lot of the economy sucks. We're doing horribly. Well, the government's not going to fix that for you.
Not right now. Not with a flick of a switch. We've covered this time and time again. Nothing's going to happen overnight. And for all of his all the policies that he's moving, his cabinet selections are pretty fucking interesting so far. The first thing he's going to take care of is the border. And that's not even going to be immediate.
Again, not a problem. Not a problem I'm concerned with. Not something I'm scared of.
But you're speaking kind of in a bubble. I'm not concerned with that, but it seems like 52% of the country is. Do you see what I'm saying?
All right, but why is everybody in Nebraska worried about the border?
Does it matter where you're from if you're worried about illegals? Does it matter where you're from if you're worried about Homeland Security? I mean, why does it have to be generalized?
So
you just got through saying,
but also on the same token, why do I care about the weather in Hawaii?
Understood. You just got through saying, though, am I the asshole because I didn't vote for this? No, you're not. You voted for the reason
I'm not an
voted.
asshole because no. Not because I didn't vote for this, because I don't see it.
That's fine.
What I'm saying is that, am I the asshole because all I see is a lot of poor people that have made shitty fucking choices, and now they want President Trumpy Trump to fix their life. I know people that were doing fabulous, and they now live in a fucking trailer park by choice. Now they're Trumpers. Now they want their whole life fixed. They want somebody. They want $1.50 a pound bacon. They want 1976. These are the same fucking people that watch NASCAR.
Well,
they want 1976. It's never going to fucking happen. So now I'm the asshole because I realized that, it happens.
No, but I will. I'm gonna. You asked the question, and then
none of this is directed at either of you.
Oh, I know. I'm with you.
I don't. It's complete not understanding. Y'all a lot of you make way more fucking money, but you're broke, and everything's horrible. But that's what I'm saying. How are you broke and everything's horrible? You live in a bigger, better fucking house. You make more fucking money. You live a better life. How is my life not horrible?
I'm going to answer this in 2 parts. 1, you are the asshole for asking a question, and then every time someone tries to answer it, You're just dumping one on top of the question. So
No, I'm good. Go
break
ahead.
them down. If we break them down, all of your points are fantastic. However, we have gone over on different issues, I guess you could say, what priorities are for each individual person. If that's not your priority, that's cool. I'm going to go with you on this one. I do see a lot of people who live very, no pun intended, high on the hog, complaining about the price of bacon, the price of eggs, the price of this, the price of that. That, as Lynch said, that's virtue signaling at its finest. Do I want $2 gas? Yeah, gas. Yes, I do. Is that 1976? No, it isn't. It's just 4 years ago, and the fact that it went up as exponentially as it did, coming out of COVID. Let's all be fair about these points. Coming out of COVID, supply and demand, you are going to have to pay more. But as everything else has started to come down, in case you guys haven't been out in the world, most of you, yes, the price of gas has come down. In most places, underneath $3. Fantastic. We're going in a good direction. Are you ever going to get $1.10 at the Hess station in Groton on the way home from Q105 at 6 o'clock in the morning? No, because that was 1991.
You're never going to see it at $2.
Prices
under $2 is as bad as good as you're going to get.
Yeah, if you get close to between $2.50 and $2, consider it a win. Price of eggs.
The thing with America is that it's really weird. The more electric cars we use, it's really fucked up. America is really hung up on oil. The more we use, the more people that use electric cars, it's really funny. If half the population tomorrow drove electric cars, the half of the population that's left would inherently start using the other 50% that the 50% that's driving electric cars uses. They've done the math, you know what I mean? So when 10% of us try to save gas, America as a whole uses 10% more gas and makes up for the difference. It's really weird. We just like to use more gas.
Well, it's because let's just say 70% of America has electric cars. The other 30%, supply and demand. The demand is low, supply is high. What's going to happen to the price?
Well, that's what that's my point.
I mean,
supply and demand doesn't really go down for in the way that they say electricity and use of cars does. If 10% of the population stops using gas, the rest of the population just uses that 10% now. It's really fucked up. Now that they've had electric cars and how usage is tracked, that's basically what happens. For every dollar of gas we don't use, somebody else, now that it's available, uses it. It's really weird. So you don't actually save gas or drop demand if everybody if half the public were to drive electricity. The other half just consumes heavier. So it's really hard to actually. The only thing you can control, honestly, is supply, because demand never really goes down here in the United States. It only did for COVID because the entire world stopped driving and 7 of us were on the highway. And that's why they couldn't sell it. They had to get rid of it somehow, and that's why the price went down. Then when the market tanked out and everything stopped, that's unfortunately that machine is very hard to start up at the same RPM and run it when it dies that it was running at before it died. And you know what I mean? Like once that slowdown happened, that's where the inflation, when the supply lines stop, that's where the inflation is allowed to creep in. And when
I'm also
down, they had to push it.
I'm also aware, and I think the other two gentlemen here are just as aware, is that when you see an opportunity, and I can name 5 places that I saw them do this, as the shutdown happened, and I'm going to talk about COVID in general, where you could go out at any given time and get alcohol wipes or gloves or KN95 masks or hand sanitizer, and you were just in that shop a week ago, and a bottle the size of this cherry cola, which I cannot show their label because we are not sponsored by them, would cost $1.99.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like,
and it went up to 10, 12 bucks.
A lot of smaller stores and some shittier stores. Definitely, again, supply and demand, but going a little fucking far.
Mm-hmm.
You had You know, mostly it was a lot of, you saw a lot of privately owned this or that.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of like neighborhood style stores just fucking gouging everybody.
Yeah, and they say shop
Walmart,
small.
Walmart didn't, and that's the reason everybody could afford to wipe them the fuck out of toilet paper. Why
Right.
they could afford to buy 15 cases of, you know, sanitizer gel.
I'm gonna go back to the other point real quick because I don't. You said you've got questions plural. I'm very interested in
Yeah,
the
I want
rest
to know
of them.
why is it that I just don't see it the same? Why is it that look, man, I've been involved with food going up in price when everybody else was happy with food prices for 30 years now. I've watched the actual prices of real business in food go up exponentially. And it's part of the business. It's not, I guess that's the point, is it's just part of the machine. It goes up, you go up, things go up, always go up.
Yeah,
If
I'm with that.
expecting that prices are going to stay the same for any longer than maybe 6 months is some sort of pipe dream. Everything, it costs more, everything's more expensive.
Sure, but I don't think that
I remember when food deliveries didn't charge for fuel. They just you just bought your shit and they showed the fuck up. When they hit us with fuel charges, we were like, what the fuck? But that's just part of the industry now. It's a fuel charge.
I think with the way the world went to hell in that year and a half, 2 years, some of those businesses offset by raising the prices of certain things. The $7 dozen of eggs, which was $2.50 in 2019, 2020, 2021, shouldn't be $7 now. That's not the natural progression. Hello, Kahuna in the comment section. Worldwide live in Australia tonight. Everybody say hi, Kahuna.
What
Hi,
up?
Kahuna.
The incremental rise in everything is something that we all have to absorb and we know is going to happen. But the rise in 2 years, I think some of the, especially farmers, if you want to talk about eggs, milk, bacon production, meat, they have to offset the back end of their costs by charging more. And then the store has to now then charge more, and it comes back to us. That's natural, but it was a really odd phenomenon based on where the world was 2 years ago. Now you start to see things incrementally go down. It's not going to fall back to $2.50 a dozen overnight. It's not going to have. He's in the future.
That's right.
In Australia, so he can tell us about. Can you give me the lottery numbers for tomorrow, Kahuna? Look up Connecticut lottery. I still got 2 hours. I can buy a ticket.
Where the fuck were you last Monday when we needed fucking election results?
But yeah, if somebody's expecting that on January 21st, the day after the Mango Mussolini takes office, that everything's going to go back to 2020 prices, you're an idiot. I do think that there is going to be some signs of improvement, lower prices. There will, and we have seen it under the Biden-Harris administration.
Well, that's what I was just going to say, is that we have seen it. I understand that a lot of people are not making a lot more money, and that's not my fault or your fault or the president's fault, and that things are going up. All right, I understand that. I kind of lost where I was going with this, but
improve I can help you a little bit. One of your biggest points was, if you make poor decisions, you reap what you sow. In June, I went out and did something for myself. I helped my own station in life by getting a new, higher-paying job. And after I start this class next Monday, hopefully from there, pass the test, get licensed, I'm going to have, whether it's a side gig or a full-time gig, and I'm helping myself. I'm not sitting waiting for the government to hand me something. I'm not waiting for the price of eggs to go down. If I want $7 eggs, I better have $7. How do I do that? I help myself. I get off my dead lazy ass and I get to fucking work. That's how it's done. But what we have, to your point, Herm, and I'd love to hear what Lynch has to say about this soon enough, If all you do is sit around and commiserate and cry the blues about the economy and you're not doing anything to put more dollars in your own pocket, you're doing it wrong.
I absolutely
I'd love
agree
to
with
see
that.
the exchange rate, Kahuna. I want to see the exchange rate.
I agree with that. I said that to Jen in a conversation before Lynch does his shit. You know, we all work hard. Oh, I work so hard. You know what? We do. We all work hard, and that's how we have to do it. But sometimes we have to work harder.
And to the people that say work smarter, not harder, they're wrong.
You got to eat some shit
and love the taste of it.
Sugar.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But yeah, I mean, sometimes you've just got to work harder. Not forever, but sometimes you just got to work harder to get
through the
somewhere.
years. Through the years, you've
and you know, I see a lot of fault being blamed on other people and wanting it to be fixed by other people, by people who put themselves where they're at.
Mm-hmm. I've seen all of us on this panel before Lynch speaks because I'm very curious and I know he's going to offer something smart because he always does. That's why he's been my friend for almost 30 years. I know. I don't think we have that button anymore. There we go. There have been times I've carried 2, sometimes 3 jobs. The reason I did that and the reason I want to do it again is because I don't like having a lot of free time. I want to keep moving. The minute I slow down, I feel like I'm just giving up and I'm waiting for the Reaper to knock on my door. I've also done it for financial purposes, and so is Lynch, and so is Herm. At one time or another, we have to suck it up. We have to understand that we're not going to have as much time for video games or motorcycle riding or going to concerts or going to a movie, all the luxuries. You may not think going to a movie is a luxury, but it is. It's not a necessity.
No, if you ain't got the $10 to get the ticket to get in the door, it's a luxury.
Feed a Zane. Go ahead, Lynch. I'm curious. You've been hanging back, and I'm sure you got something for us.
Well, remember 30 years ago where it was the Democrats?
1970?
If you wanted to vote.
No, that's 30 years ago for you.
1973? That's like 30 years ago, right?
If you voted Democrat, you're looking for a handout. Well, now, if you vote Republican, you're looking for a fucking handout. Because that's really what it's the tides have turned, and the Republicans were known as the elite, rich white man.
I see both.
Where
Democrats want a handout of acceptance, regardless. All right,
correct. They want acceptance.
I see a lot of the red wave wanting a handout, money wise. They want somebody to fix their empty wallet. They want somebody to make them rich.
Now, I agree with both of you. I've worked 2-3 jobs throughout the course of my life. I've been working since I was 13 years old. I never not had a job for an extended period of time.
Mm-hmm.
I worked 2 jobs for a very long time. I worked at the package store and at the casino. And I did that mostly to just have some fun money. Always, because the things I like to do cost a little bit of money. And my father put it great. There's things in life you want to do, and there's things in life you got to do. Once you get the got to do column filled, and you can start dipping into the want to do column, you don't have to go to the movies. You don't have to buy a 100-inch television. You don't have to drive the best, fastest, most beautiful car on the planet. Live within your means, live within your station. I saw this time and time again at the casino where you see slot attendants in 2002 buying $65,000 cars. And guess what happened? They went from keeping their tips to going toke rate. Then they couldn't afford that big fancy car. All of a sudden, the money vacuum just went away. And you can't live your life that way. And through the renaissance of COVID, with people going back into work and the economy getting a little bit better, they've plastered themselves in plastic debt. And now to get through COVID. and now they are finding themselves in a situation I can't afford to feed myself.
See, that's
Whose
what I
fucking
think. There's a
whose
shitload
fucking
of
fault is
people out
that?
there. There's a shitload of people out there that have overextended themselves within their salary,
Means?
within their salary. All right. Um, Jen and I do sometimes live a little extravagantly on some things. Okay.
We do too.
But also to the point where if shit got tight, there's shit we could immediately cut out and save a shitload of money just because that we're doing because we can afford it right now and not because we have to. You know what I mean? If I
That's like
if I delete the Amazon app for a month or two and turn off a couple and pause a couple of streaming services, um, there's a lot of money I could save. But we're not extended. Like even all of that, like there's cushion and room. I don't. There's people that are just broke. I can't afford this. You're making a good deal of money. What is it that's going on that you fucked up financially? So you're not good with money. That's what I'm seeing. A lot of people not good with money, expecting a president to make money good.
Yeah,
and he's not
before
going to walk into
COVID.
office. He's not
Go
going to
ahead.
walk into office and make your paycheck 10% bigger.
No, he's
No,
not.
and he's not going to go in and change. He's a businessman. He's also not going to go in and let's see. Well, there isn't really a whole hell of a lot he can do to lower the prices of goods foreign. There isn't really much. He can do maybe some trade agreements if he was lucky, okay? But really, cost of goods is cost of goods, and that's all there is to it. He's not going to tell the people that own the ships that they have to charge less. He's not going to tell the people that drive the trucks that they have to charge less. He can affect policy in the United States, but all right, so he's going to have to tell the people that make the seeds that they got to charge less, so that the farmers can pay less for seeds, and now they are going to have to make the farm workers, the illegal ones that they send back, they're going to have to replace with white people. Good luck with that.
You might find some in the Bible Belt,
that's
but
what
you're
I'm
not going to
saying.
find too many overall around the country.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like you're that's gonna go up. So after you sell the seed, get the seed people to sell it cheaper. You've now got to get everybody else that's a supplier to the farmer to sell it cheaper. Now the farmer could sell it cheaper to somebody else who can buy it cheaper, process it cheaper. He's got and then hopefully sell it to us cheaper. But he's got to make everybody agree to stop making money in a capitalist system. He's Donald Trump. He's supposed to be a businessman. He's supposed to go that you really.
He's not gonna shut down the free market because
But
that's where
what
he
I'm
comes
saying.
from.
What's he going to force to make them change? What are you gonna? Who are you gonna force to drop their prices?
If there's one thing I like about what he wants to do is he wants to, in one way, compartmentalize. More made in America. Keep the money here. Stop sending. But when you think about it, if you own an iPhone or a Samsung, or if you have one of them big-ass TVs...
I'm not buying anything American-made electronic-wise. Get the fuck out of here.
That's where
It's
I was
garbage.
going.
I'm
If you
not
want-
buying any fucking American-made product for shit.
If you want a fantastic Chromebook like the one I'm staring into now, if you want a fantastic phone that I've got next to me ready for Speedway Review, don't forget Speedway Review, 8 o'clock tonight. You want a tablet, you want those fancy security systems, those come from other countries where they are more technologically advanced today than they were even 3 years ago. We can't stop outsourcing, but there are certain things that can be stopped from outsourcing, but it has to come from within. We have an oil reserve, a petroleum reserve that has sat untouched for years to the tune of millions and millions of gallons, which I understand, though
Right,
that's for
but-
emergency
wait,
purpose. Let me
wait,
finish.
Hold on. All right. Okay. All right.
The emergency, that's why it's called the emergency petroleum supply. It's
And then
not
they
to
got,
be released.
but they got mad a year or so ago when we emergency released some of it for guests, and then they got mad that we used
Who
it.
got mad?
A lot of people got mad.
Fuck them.
I'm just saying there was a lot of Republicans that were mad because Biden released our strategic oil reserve. But now at this point in time, I hear a lot of the same fucking Republicans saying we should do something with that. He should just let us put that shit in our cars. Because now it's Papa Trump and not Uncle Joe. That's my point.
Absolutely not.
The oil, they bitched. But now Trump's in office. They want Trump to release the oil. That's
okay.
A good thing.
Okay, by the same token, over the summer when Kamala joined the race, Trump announced, if I'm elected, I would like to make it happen, no tax on tips. The left lost their mind. Do you know how much this is going to cost in tax revenue and yada, yada, yada? 3 weeks later, wait for it. Wait for it. And then Kamala says it, and CBS says, Kamala Harris wants no tax on tips, releasing the burden on families. I'm like, which one is it, CBS? You have a media that is playing, and all the media outlets are playing one side or the other. There's no one anymore that's delivering it straight down the barrel.
Well, no, that's why you as a citizen are required to watch both fucking channels. You got to watch Fox and CBS, unfortunately, and then somewhere in the middle is the story.
Correct.
You know,
it used to be.
We all know that.
It used to be, regardless of what Walter Cronkite did when he was off camera, alcoholic, racist, wife beater, however, when Walter Cronkite stared down the barrel of that chroma key, he told you just the news. It was 25 minutes of news, and then at the end it was like, and for this week's opinion commentary, here's Michael Herman. And you'd go off for 5 minutes, and he'd close the broadcast. Now it's 25 minutes of opinion, and, oh, by the way, there's a hurricane in North Carolina, the Red Sox lost, and Caroline Rottencrotch down the street turned 102. Let's all give her a round of applause. And here's Scott Haney to tell you what's not going to happen tomorrow because he can't predict the weather for shit.
Well, sorry, Herm.
That was my fault. Sorry, Herm.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem, Chris. Not the three of us are the odd men out who had just happened to be in the same room together. We know to go to alternate sources for news.
Oh yeah,
and it drives my wife crazy that I have either my head in a tablet or my head in my phone watching or reading news all the time. I'm watching the Joe Rogan podcast. I'm reading Al Jazeera. I'm watching other podcasts that just kind of cut down the middle. And the reason I like Joe Rogan is he's not for or against. He just lets the guests talk. And you get from a conversation where that person stands. I saw it with Elon Musk. I saw it with J.D. Vance. I rewatched the J.D. Vance one, and I like him even more.
It was phenomenal.
It was a human. A human was speaking at the microphone for 3 hours. And that to me, if more people did that and made more educated decisions on which way they're going to lean politically, philosophically, whatever you want to fucking call it, I think we'd be for the better. But unfortunately, that doesn't make the mainstream media gobs and gobs of money for throwing whatever they feel is the right narrative down your fucking throat.
Mm-hmm. And that's one of the other things.
My thing last week was half joke, half serious. ANL, anal news. You know, force feed you to the news whether you like it or not. Right up your ass.
One news story at a time, straight up your bunghole. One of the things that you guys know is I'm very big into listening to a lot of political podcasts. I've pared them down to just a short few. But for every Matt Walsh that I listen to, I'm listening to Pod Save America. For every Joe Rogan I listen to, I'm listening to the other side. I love Brian Stelter's podcast. Whether or not I think he's a smart man or not, he is a smart man. I just don't like his politics. But he comes up with gems that make me see things in a different light. You can tell the people that don't do as much homework as you or I when they start talking the talking points they've heard on MSNBC or CBS News. Why don't you like J.D. Vance? He's just weird. What's weird about him? Happily married, 3 kids, came from nothing, pulled up his bootstraps. Why do you like Tim Walz? Oh, he was a football coach. He's this or that. Why don't you like Tim Walz? Oh, tampons in the boys' bathroom. So you're using the television talking points to make your decision. You're not educated. You're a fucking fool. And I don't care if I piss people off with that one.
Oh, that's the unfortunate side effect of that, is that people get offended by the truth. And if it doesn't fit the narrative, that's the narrative they want to follow, they don't want to hear it. And they just want to shut down the speech. They just, fuck you. Or what I'm loving over the last week since the election is all these fucking lefties literally crying in their car because Trump won.
Well, they're like,
how many, well, right,
know.
but how many takes did it get for that girl to do the perfect cry before she published it on her monetized fucking channel?
Yeah.
You're a fucking hypocrite. You're a
That seems
fucking hypocrite.
That seems extremely cynical. I'm just saying.
Oh, let me join the cynical train real quick
Just
because
saying, in general, if she wants to post it and cry.
in 2020,
And get paid.
I don't care if you cry.
And get paid.
in 2020, we were told, I say we, the general public who may or may not have voted against Joe Biden. If you voted against Joe Biden, like I did, that's fine. I didn't vote for DJT then, didn't vote for DJT now, didn't vote for DJT in 2016. Here's what we were told. The adults are back in charge, suck it up and deal with it. Okay. Now, if you say that now, oh, well, I have to take space from you because this election has openly traumatized me. And shut the fuck up. At no point in human history before 2016 have I seen so many weak-titted children of privilege cry the blues over a presidential election. The man has already been in office. We've danced this dance before. No one's losing shit. And maybe no one's going to gain shit. But guess what? The American people spoke. So stop crying the blues. Stop telling your family members how much you hate them. Stop listening to these $2 influencers. Again, much like Lynch pointed out,
No, they can
who
tell
have
their family
monetized.
members they hate them.
They
Feel
can.
free. Keep going on. Do it. Do it.
But don't take your
own
cue.
choice. Do it.
Don't take your cue from some jackass who's trying to get TikTok likes. If you're going to do it from your heart. If you're going to tell someone to fuck off in that direction with a cactus, make sure it's you telling them and not because you heard it on some influencer's page and you pay 99 cents a month to get it.
Well, it all boils down to is that we have a hive mind. That's basically what it is in America now. It's a hive mind, and it's split into two hemispheres. You got the left and right, just like a brain. And if you go down the middle and straddle either side, you're the outlier, like me, like you, like Herm, because we're all different. We all have left or right leanings about anything in life.
Oh yeah,
politically.
And I would dare say we're happier for it.
What I said the other day in the chat is that logic. Make a logical conclusion based upon the stuff you have in front of you. If it doesn't equal something that's logical, is it the right thing to do? And Herm, you said it best about that show of The Irrational. That's why I love that show, because it really, conducting those types of tests and seeing how people act under certain circumstances, it couldn't be more well timed for the world we live in today, because it makes you realize why people make the choices they make, and it's mind-boggling sometimes. And a lot of it also is proven to be, over time, a choice that's made over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, are we a subject of our own whim and our own mistakes? Yeah, we are. Are we more willing to just complain about it, or to do the work and remove yourself for it? And Herm is absolutely right. We are not a society of hard workers anymore. We are a society of, I'm just going to sit here in mediocrity, suffer, and complain. Rather than grabbing yourself by the belt and lifting yourself up and doing something about it, you're just going to bitch.
I will point to when we were all teenagers. We're all about the same age. With the we'll say we're within a year of each other, which I think I'm right. And if you're 15, if you're 15 years old, maybe you work at McDonald's. I worked at a pizza place under the table at 15. I know in Connecticut you weren't allowed to work until you were 16. Yeah, there's ways around that. Find a family business. They'll hire you and they'll pay you as long as you bust your fucking ass every day. God bless Cheryl, wherever she is. And you know Kiss is coming to town. And you're like, oh, I got to go see Kiss. Now, keep in mind, back in 1987, concert tickets were about $20 a head. At a major arena, front row was 30. I got to make $30, and I got to make and then I got to make another 40 so I can get a T-shirt, a tour book, and have gas to get there. So I got to make an extra $100 before Kiss comes to town. You went out and mowed lawns. You went out and shoveled driveways. You went out and raked leaves. You did the work, and at the end of it, you got rewarded. Now, what I see, and it goes to both of your points, whether it be Republican, Democrat, old person, young person, I've seen it on every fucking side. I'm not getting what I want.
Because we've been spoon feeding our kids for the last 30 years.
Agreed. Our generation fucked it up for everybody.
And
our generation fucked it up for everybody.
I said I said the same thing the other day about abortion, and I've said it before on this podcast. We had 50 fucking years to fix the problem, but we just sat on our hands and did nothing. Because that's what we're used to. The magic fucking fairy's going to fix everything. Who?
The abortion fairy. You never heard of the abortion fairy?
I'm not even talking about abortion at this point. Anything that you want fixed within your government, you have a voice, and you need to speak it by your local fucking elections. You put the people in office who are going to have the same agenda and the same viewpoints that you do. But nope, we're just going to sit here and cry and complain.
Before Herm's next question,
does Connecticut still need an income tax?
No, I don't think any state needs an income tax.
You mean the temporary one they put in 30 years
Yeah,
ago?
remember
The
how
temporary one they put in 1992.
The temporary one they put in 35 years ago, and that would just be for a little bit, just a little,
that one.
Bit.
Just a little. There's no such thing as temporary.
Just a little bit.
Every one of you out
35 years
there,
later, nigga, we still paying motherfucking taxes.
If those people who are watching us in the United States, who live in a state where you're unsure of where your abortion laws or rights are going to go, I want you to do this. I want you to get online. You're online anyway. You're looking up TikTok videos and you're sending memes. I mean, shit, we do that with each other all day. But if I have an issue that I really want addressed, I go find my representative. You go to their page, and at the bottom, there's an email and a phone number. And if enough of you do that, your representative is going to go, okay, this is an issue my constituents want. I'm going to bring this to the table, and let's see where it goes. But it is supposed and sitting on your gimmick phone and bitching on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, X, or wherever the fuck you keep spewing your bullshit does not help. Finding out if someone you know voted for Trump and saying, oh, you just killed me. No, I didn't. I didn't vote for Trump, so I'm putting myself in a Trump voter's shoes. No, I didn't.
I didn't. Wishing violence and harm on somebody for somebody that voted for Trump, or cutting them out of your life because they voted for Trump. What's a
good reason for violence and cutting someone out?
There isn't any, really.
They diddled your daughter.
I'm talking in social media.
I'm just being facetious here.
I know. I answered your question quite.
What's a good reason?
But me putting a Sharpie on a piece of paper and circling a bubble, or anyone else in the world circling that bubble for the vote, one way or the other. How is that inflicting violence upon anybody? How did I hurt you?
It isn't, because there's a reason why.
Did I hurt you?
You didn't. There's a reason why when you go in to vote, they check you against the ledger to make sure you're registered to vote in that district. And then you go in this little private booth and no one else sees your vote. And if you want to tell people who you voted for, God love you. And if you don't, who gives a fuck? It's nobody's business. And I'm free and clear. I told you last week who I voted for. I wrote in my vote. And I didn't vote for Mickey Mouse or Archie Bunker. Everybody likes to be silly and do that. I didn't vote for Pennywise either.
Show me on Pennywise where I hurt you. We can't do that here.
Oh, you didn't say the dolly. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's nobody's business who you voted for. It really isn't. If somebody asks you who you voted for, that's none of your concern. It really isn't. As long as, and I don't care who you guys voted for. That's why I didn't ask. Whoever you voted for, your choice. I don't care. As long as Herm and Lynch are good people. Nobody on that ballot was the second coming of Satan. Nobody on that ballot was Hitler. Nobody. Well, we have stolen Michael Knowles' Mango Mussolini, and I think we're going to keep it. Michael, sorry, we love you. We're keeping that. But nobody on that ballot is coming to your house and wrangling you up and beating you with a stick because you're a Democrat or a Republican or because you bitched and whined on the internet. This isn't the end of Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back where they have the list of people who dogged him on the internet and then kicked the shit out of him at the end of the film. That's not happening. What you should be more focused on is basically the will of the people. Whether I like it or not, on January 20th, there will be a transfer of power and we will have Trump Part 2. Do I like it? Not particularly. Am I prepared for it? Sure, I've danced this dance before. This isn't like having two George W.
I've got enough money to outlast whatever the fuck he does. So
if he does bad, okay, yeah, you're in a great position. There are people that aren't. Most of them by choice.
Like
some of them by
circumstance.
The
terrorist game. I can afford that. The problem is that there's a lot of people that don't understand how tariffs work. Tariffs were lovely when we used wooden ships and the system worked that way.
Mm-hmm.
And they really haven't been used since because all they do is make goods more expensive for the people that get them at the end. Unfortunately, the consumer eats the big bag of shit on everything when it comes down to cost. Everything gets passed on and it's all passed down to us.
Yeah.
So,
and there are two things I've wanted.
There's a lot of poor people that voted for him that aren't going to be able to afford. They're going to have eggs and bacon. They're not going to have the clothes. They won't have a TV. They will not have a lot of the items that we as Americans are used to just having because it's America.
Did you think Hitachi was a town in Illinois?
Yeah, right.
If you have a big ass Sony TV, Sony isn't a village in California.
No, but they're also Japanese.
It doesn't matter. It's overseas.
Well, yes.
Where do you think we're getting this product from?
Right. It is. You're right. And now you're right. The issue, my issue is doing business with like China.
Yeah, okay, I'm with you on that. There are two things that I've wanted for 30 years, and I think
they're adversarial. I don't want to say they're our nation's enemy, but they're definitely an adversarial contact.
There are two things that I don't like: tariffs, and I don't like embargoes, especially when those countries that you set an embargo on provide something that the American people use every day, whether they know it or not. Nothing comes out of Cuba that's really awesome except cigars that are hurt by the embargo. I'm not a cigar smoker.
They don't. They don't
so
really
that
do shit.
Yeah, that embargo has been going on since the 60s. It's not going to change. Setting up a government where I do think that the Biden-Harris administration was weak on foreign policy, very weak on foreign policy.
Fuck yeah.
I think Biden-Harris administration was very weak on the immigration policy. If you come here, and we all come from descendants of elsewhere, we know this. And you come here, whether illegally, if you start out coming here illegally and you work your way through the system and you do the right thing, God bless you. Welcome to America. You're a citizen.
I solved the border crisis the other night, high as a kite with Jen after 4 fucking Trulies, and I call it the big.
I'm gonna focus on the high as a kite, not the fact that you drank girly drinks.
Well, it's because they're only 100 calories and they taste good.
I know.
All right, so here it is. I call this the big Herm get on the plane immigration plan. When we get on a plane, we're going to travel somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's within the country. But if we're traveling internationally, here's how it works. You have to go to the airport, right? You have to get TSA pre-checked, or you have to go through TSA, and everybody's got to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's levels to getting on the motherfucking plane. Not everybody gets on the motherfucking plane at the same time. They've all got reasons. Now, the 3 tiers. There's the vetted plan. You come through, you've got all the paperwork, you've gone through, you've put your forms in, you've TSA pre-checked your flight, and you are first class. You have paperwork, and it's confirmed and checked and vetted on a place that you'll be staying. You have been confirmed of a job with a business holder in the U.S. with an IED number, all of that shit. You're pre-checked. All of the security's gone through. You're easy. You have all of the things that we want out of the citizens. You got a place to live, so you're not on the street. You secured a place to live, a job. These are what we want. There you go. Now you're here. We know you're here. Congratulations. Get on the plane real quick first. Welcome to America. Start paying some taxes. Have a good day. The next is people that are in coach. These people, all right, these people are loaded on a plane. You have to sit in your group. You didn't do anything special. You just bought a ticket and you're coming in. Now you're going to go through the system. We got to check you out. We got to make sure everything's good. It's a little bit slower, and the process is a little longer because we don't want you, and more oversight, because we don't want you just getting on a plane wherever you want before someone else. We want to make sure you're right before you get on a plane. There you go. That's class 2. Then there's possible criminal people. All right. These people, first of all, more than likely, you're denied. But if your crime isn't really that bad, you have a very long, slow process. You are the people that get loaded on the plane. They get loaded on the plane with the employees of the plane. They have to load you on because you're in a wheelchair. You have trouble walking. These are people that need extra assistance to get on the plane because they have a problem that slows them down.
How?
There it
how
is. That's how
high
you streamline it.
How high
Am I wrong?
were
I was
you?
really
No.
fucking high, and I was pretty drunk because 4 beers will do it now. But there it is. There's your system.
Well,
I
it's
would
much
go.
like
Go ahead.
And that's not perfect, but that's the idea. Government, run with that shit. Take it where you can go.
I'm going to go a different direction, but I want to
I
hear what Lynch had to say first.
I have 2 questions. Can we put comments on the screen for this?
Yes.
Go to Matthew's last one.
Kahuna wants to know what's the issue with China.
Several, and I'm going to get to them in a second.
Oh yeah, he's in Australia, so he doesn't really know what the deal is.
So as
he's
far
got
as
his own
your
Yep.
as far as your big Herm immigration idea, it's not unlike what we should be doing anyway, and what we were doing prior to Biden and Harris. Because if you're an asylum seeker, the agreement was you stay in Mexico and you go through all the application, and once you're accepted, you get to go move from Mexico. You're considered
I'll
an
be right back,
asylee.
gentlemen. I'll be right back. Go ahead.
Right. What we don't have is that first class tier system.
Correct.
The first
That's-
class tier system stops. First class tier system means when you show up because you've gone through and you got it, and you got your fucking paper, and all I got to do is get to the border with this fucking paper, and if not, it's in the system. You get it, you go
And
in, you walk right the fuck through, and everybody else stays go. There's a special gate for you.
And that's pretty much exactly what Trump is looking to do. He's not trying to stop immigration. He wants to get the people. He wants to get the people from out of here.
It's the specific searching for deportation that is the expensive problem I don't like. Streamline the system, make the system better. The rest of that will eventually find itself out.
Now, I agree with that system 100%.
Bring those people in fast. Let them start making money, paying taxes, Social Security as soon as you're in.
I don't think that we can do that without doing the first part and taking the people who aren't supposed to be here and send them back. Now, AOC and people like her will say you're going to separate families. If they're all illegal, they're all going. Now, if you came here illegally and had a child here, that child is an American citizen. But you're not. That is the part I do have a little bit of a problem with, because you are going to separate families. However,
shit happens.
One parent.
Exactly. You make
One
the one
parent.
parent rule.
One
make
parent,
the one parent rule.
One parent gets to stay. Look
Right.
after the child. The other parent can stay with the rest of the family. One parent is allowed. You can make the choice no, but we will allow one parent. You decide who and how it's going to work. But one parent.
Spin the wheel, make the deal.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
But I do agree. I think
probably sounds heartless, but look, we'll make one caveat. It's a baby that's a U.S. citizen. We will let one parent stay with the child and grant for what they need because of the citizen. We'll let one parent
temporary asylum. Yeah.
However long, and you get a nice long time to figure out how the fuck you're going to do that alone, and they're going to have some help. You can't just strip apart a family and put one parent with nowhere to go and one income, and then be like, all right, good. Sorry. Okay, you're here now. Fuck you. So everything they had planned is fucked. So you just be making it worse for the child.
Yep.
I'm more okay with the government assisting in those circumstances and housing them temporarily until they can get a citizenship and get citizenship and get a job and to get a house and secure all that. I'm okay with spending $1,000 a night in the Ritz in New York for somebody who wants to be here for a good reason.
Am I investing in a new U.S. citizen? Absolutely.
Absolutely. I am not. I don't want to invest in the motherfuckers that are staying in high-class hotels in New York, California, and all over the country right now. And we're paying for that because they skip the line. And I love Herm's VIP fast tracks idea, and that's really what we need to do. Is that if people who have been on the list for 5 years, let's move them up. Let's move them up after we get all the other people out of here. Let's move them up.
I've got a caveat to Herm's plan.
They have to fix that part of the system in order for that to work. And that's
I have a caveat to Herm's plan.
Include spending more money and hiring more people. Go ahead, Chris.
But if you do
not spend money on the wall, you have to spend more money on more people and more money on the infrastructure system that is moving.
Infrastructure.
Amen to that. Right. So I have a caveat to Herm's plan because you had the first class, you had the coach, and then you had the employee / steerage, if you will. I'm using a Titanic reference.
Criminally questionable would be your class.
Here's where I would go with that. Our president-elect, our 45th president, now our 47th, upcoming 47th president, was a reality TV star, wasn't he?
Well, I mean, he was on a reality TV show.
And he starred in it. I'm guessing. If we're parsing words here, he was a
I guess so. Yeah, I guess he was the main character in that show. Sure.
Most of you would call it the Survivor Plan. I just spent the last 2 weeks binging the WWE reality show Tough Enough, where they train newcomer kids and they give them a contract, and most of them suck, but like 3 of them have been wildly successful. Put them through the ringer and put it on television. Let America vote. Okay, over here we have Carlos. Yes, he's been convicted of drug trafficking, but he's turned his life around. He wants to be in. Give him challenges, give him tests, give him something. But what you're not going to do is just hand this out and go, "Oh, Carlos, you want a green card? Here, take it." Give him a skills challenge.
I think that
build me a house. Build me a house.
You build me a house.
I'm not. I was born here. I don't have to.
See,
listen, give him a skills challenge. You want to be here. I don't care what is your skill. Carlos, what is your skill? I'm a mechanic. Okay. Restore that car. Boom, restores the car. Okay, congratulations. Here's your green card. Get in. Give them something that is incentivized. You do the work, you get rewarded.
How do they restore the car? Where do they get the car?
I don't know. I'm not a mechanic.
Well, I guess that's what I'm saying is, where do they get their car? They're coming to our country with nothing. You got to find a car to restore it.
It's a reality show. It's a skills challenge. You think they're just going to show up and not have a car? They're probably going to have this rotted out 86 Datsun that is sitting there and going, what can you do with this? Chances are it's going to bounce like this at the end of the fucking show, and it's going to have spinning rims.
I'm
and
not letting the American public vote with their heart and feelings on anything involving a possible criminality person becoming a U.S. citizen. Sorry. First of all, it makes a mockery of the U.S. immigration and customs system, which we really don't need. We need to legitimize it as much as possible and make people take it fucking serious. And no, I am not letting after the current vote, I am not letting the American public judge anything right now.
That's a curious statement, because I have to ask, so you think that 52% of the American public is retarded? Or off kilter? Or
No.
I do.
No, I think there's too much of a portion of either side that is off their fucking rocker, and I'm not letting anybody decide shit for me right now.
Understood. Lynch, I want to hear why you do. Go ahead.
Whether it's become from hate or emotion. Nah, get the fuck out.
Okay. Go ahead, Lynch.
If people really wanted to make a difference and change the way we do things in America, if we really truly wanted to be united, every motherfucker in America would have wrote somebody in. See? And why give us the option if you're not going to take it seriously? Right? The write-in vote has been a joke forever. There's never really been an election where a write-in vote has gotten anything in the double digits as percentage of popular vote.
Correct.
So
because people can't organize enough for a write-in vote to actually fucking work. That's why the two-party system stays where it is, because nobody else can come up with a better way to fucking organize.
Before Gary Johnson.
If they did, Ross Perot would have done something.
Before Gary Johnson in the 2016 election, who was the last third-party candidate that even got more than 5% of the vote?
I don't even remember, Chris.
I do.
I don't even remember.
Herm just referenced him. Ross Perot.
Ross Perot was the first third-party candidate to get anything above 3%. Yep.
Gary Johnson was able to collect 4.5%. Ross Perot got 5.5.
Yeah, like 3% is the line. Like 3.5. You were amazing. You did amazing with those numbers.
What you're going to need, and I think you both said it.
Nobody has the money to get the back. Nobody gets the backing on a third party. There's no money.
You're just dipping into my comment, and it's like you're pulling. You seriously are. You're pulling the idea out of me.
There's no money there. Nobody wants to back a third party definite loser, and that's the problem.
You would need, in order for a third party candidate to actually work, and I've said this for years. I have said it for years. You need a high dollar money backer. You need, especially now in the age of the internet, have internet town hall meetings, a Zoom meeting, if you will, where you're the only one on the screen, but there's 20, 30, 40,000 people, and somebody on the side is going, okay, Michael in Pueblo, Colorado, you have a question for Mr. Burns? Yes, this is my question. You have to mobilize. You have to let the people know. The problem is we're never going to get out of the two-party system as long as the House and the Congress are all separated by only two parties. That's why they call it the aisle and not the aisles plural.
Right.
You can have an independent president all you like. I would love for there to be an independent president, whether it's the Libertarian, Reform Party, the Green Party, fuck the Tea Party. But you can have that, but you're never going to get the backing you want because the House and the Senate are both split down say it with me, the aisle.
down the aisle.
Yeah. And until you get
and yeah,
more
they're fucking-
independent
you just
Go
get
ahead.
one or a seat or two here or there as back and forth. You replace a couple of red seats with a blue this time, and then the next one it replaces, but nothing ever.
But it would be
the aisle.
it would be the perfect storm. And I say this with all sincerity in my heart. If you have an independent president, you now really have to play partisan politics. You really have to be not partisan, bipartisan.
Well, yeah,
you really
because
have to
he's
listen
not
to
right.
both
He's
sides.
Not siding to anything any of you motherfuckers say
Correct.
just because you say it.
Exactly.
Now you gotta have some substance, and
Exactly.
nobody in those seats wants that either.
No, they don't.
And to answer the question, Chris, why is 52% of the population retarded? It's exactly why what Herm said. Because there's people on both sides of the fucking aisle that are fucking insane right now, and that's the 52% that voted.
Right, like you've got people.
I don't know about that.
You've got people walking around going, "Man, the air smells cheaper today," and then you've got other, and then you've got other people like crying. It's both sides to the extreme, but
Yeah, I think they're way over here. Folks like us who sit more centrist woke up and went, "All right, here we go."
Okay, so
here we
this
go
is
again.
the ride I'm taking.
Yeah, this is the ticket I bought. I
Doesn't
didn't get
exactly make
the
me
window.
happy, but I bought
Right.
I bought my ticket, so here we go.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit the drink cart's gonna hit my elbow on the way by. Shit.
I'm going to answer Matthew's quick question real quick about what's the issue with China. The issue with China is you can't trust them. We just went through a hacking thing with China where they've busted into a couple candidates' phones and we're able to retrieve some messages. It's just China is nothing in technology is nothing but thieves.
China.
They're nothing but thieves. They're always looking for more information, more data, and a large majority of software hacking comes from China. As far as scamming comes, it's India.
Yep.
Which is part of Asia.
For those
that don't understand.
I missed the way he said China.
China. And
China.
From China.
The United States, have so much security intelligence that could be breached, that would be very, very dangerous for us to have a healthier relationship with China. They are an adversary, and we keep them at an arm's distance.
How many months ago did we just have a Chinese spy balloon fly over almost the entirety of the United States before somebody decided maybe we should shoot that down? They weren't looking for places to put a dollar fucking general.
No. And as far as you guys, Australia, yeah, you guys do deal with China a lot. You got a lot of Chinese cars. You get all your electronics that are made in China are imported to you. But you don't pose as much security risk on either side, either way.
They're not scared of you. You Australia.
Yeah, they're not afraid of you. They're not gonna go down into the plains of Australia.
Fuck down there, You want
so they're more worried about
a lot with a hell of a penal colony. Okay.
Yeah, they're more worried about guys like us who have the big guns and the big nukes.
What?
They're not worried about you guys.
I don't have any.
So for us,
I lost them in a boating accident.
And there are tariffs in place. There are always tariffs in place in the economy. I keep hearing myself like double back, so I'm kind of talking weird.
Yo,
we'll fix that next time.
Go down to mute while you're here and call it up and see if echo cancellation is on. Put the box next to mute.
It's in the
see
box.
If echo cancellation is checked.
What's in the box? Try it again. Now he's muted himself.
Hello?
No, now he's back.
Did you get an echo?
Yep. Echo cancellation is ambient echo, not.
Because
echo.
I'm using headphones, it killed mine right away.
No, I'm using earbuds, so it's not me. I'm hearing what you're hearing half a second after I say it.
No, I know.
Okay.
How many windows you got open up? Just one?
75.
It's just this. Yeah, it's just this.
1185.
I don't have any tabs. But anyway, Matthew, we don't trust China, and there are tariffs in place. That anything that you buy that's made in China, there is a tariff to import that. That's why we keep tariffs on the books because of China. And the president's plan for tariffs, I'm not sold on it either. I understand the basis behind it is if you impose a tariff on an automobile, let's say, the automaker is more inclined to build a factory in your country and hire people that need jobs in our country. So it does kind of, in the long run, improve the economy in a long, drawn-out sort of process.
Yeah,
because it creates
but
American
you-
jobs.
You-
But
but the U.S. automakers quality and all of that shit. The U.S. automakers have already said they'll never approve a Chinese car. They have to get they have to get approved. They have to get a car approved, and for certain rules to come into the country. And they've already said they'll never approve a Chinese car. We don't care how good they are. We'll never approve.
I'm not talking. That's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is why in the 90s, Subaru, Toyota, Honda all built factories here in the States. It kept them competitive.
Lafayette,
you buy a
Indiana, baby.
Subaru, you see a Subaru, it's either made in Texas or Indiana.
Yep.
The parts are made in Japan, but the actual vehicle is assembled in the USA. That cuts the tariff. Because in the 90s, luxury cars were, import cars were lapping American cars in price. So to stay competitive, they started moving factories and building factories over here, which levied those tariffs and kept them competitive.
We placed specific tariffs on vehicles over certain engine sizes. So
that's when you saw car makers go from 2.2 to 2.0 to 1.5 liter engines because they're thinking environmental impact. So I mean, it kills multiple birds with a big stone.
Yeah, but we don't want.
I don't like the idea of tariffs.
Factory in this country. That's the
No.
other.
We'll never lift tariffs off Chinese products, and we'll never ever subsidize a Chinese anything here because they're just so dangerous. I worked in the casino business for 20 years, Matthew. The Chinese mob is no joke. Loan sharks are no joke. I mean, if I could tell you an episode of stories just in that aspect, you'd be shitting your pants.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying. So you can't trust them, unfortunately. I mean, Chinese Americans, I know a ton of them, and they're some of the most hardest working people and the nicest people, and they all have the same story. I would be dead if I were still in China.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be able to feed myself because they pay them very, very small wages unless you're in the executive level. And there's not a lot of places in China to live. They build up.
Yep.
And their entire house is half the size of this room up here.
And a lot of the same people that are screaming about the problems with China. I'm not saying like us, we're having a discussion, but when you hear some of these people just pitching a bitch, are the same ones that are wearing the expensive sneakers that are built in a sweatshop in China. Or carrying the Gucci bag from China.
I love it. I love it when somebody puts a left, like a real far left person, about how they think that socialism would work. Well, how'd you get here in a car? Who built that car? Workers. That iPhone. How much did you spend on it?
I pay about $35 a month. Yeah, I'm with you.
So you can see how a socialist where communal everything just kind of wouldn't work. And being self-sufficient isn't in the American blood.
The only way socialism
works
is
very few people.
If we all gain the same, or we all lose the same.
Right. So I love it when people tear apart that idea that material things don't matter.
As
or
they sip their Starbucks
we
coffee
need to ban
and answer you.
we need to ban all plastics. Well, there's a lot of things that are going to vaporize if you ban all plastics. No more televisions, no more computers, no more phones, no more cars.
Yeah. No more
Yeah,
nothing.
ban all plastic.
Yeah. All those toys in your kid's room while you're pushing out kids, whether you're doing it with a husband or not, or whether you're paying for them or collectively the taxpayers are paying for them. All those toys in your kid's room, gone. You're going to give them a sock with other socks in it, and that's going to be their toy. This is Socko. Enjoy.
Yeah. Fill rocks and beat the shit out of each other. Have at it, kid.
Those Baby Einstein DVDs you sit your kid in front of so you can have a 20-minute nap, plastic.
Yeah.
Anything with polyester in it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The clothes your kids wear.
Nothing but cotton and wool.
When your kid is in Target sitting in the buggy and goes, "Oh, can I have that Bluey t-shirt?" And you buy the Bluey t-shirt and it's a cotton shirt. No doubt it's a cotton shirt, but guess what's on the front? Plastic with the Bluey raised up so they can run their hand over and go, "Bluey, Bluey." These letters on my sweatshirt, plastic based.
Plastic.
We live in a plastic world. Australia has plastic bans. So do we here in America. They're usually called poison, but
I was just gonna say they're called like wasp and shit. But
hey,
yeah.
You shut your whore mouth and do not disparage the good goddamn name of wasp. I'd have been okay if you
Blackie
said
Lawless.
I'd have been okay if you said Dockin. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
Dockin, you suckin'.
Canada has the most plastic banned with Nickelback, but we'll leave it at that.
Oh, dare you remind me?
It's only on single-use item, plastic straws, plastic cups, shopping bags. Okay, that's cool. I get that. And we started that in the States. But what happened with the plastic straws is when somebody buys,
yeah, but
and again, this is the glut
overreaction because everybody's worrying about the plastic and we're killing the fucking turtles, man. It's the fucking turtles, man.
Yeah, if you're throwing it out willy-nilly.
It's not us. It's like it's India and China that put the more plastic than any of other countries combined. So
say China like you mean it.
It's not us.
China.
We don't throw our traffic in our trash in the fucking ocean.
Correct.
They do.
Yeah, folks, if you really want to have a good time,
we are killing turtles.
Google satellite images of the trash band in the Pacific Ocean.
It's nowhere near the United States.
Okay. We didn't put that shit in the water. I'll give you a little secret. We didn't do that. You're talking about places, two countries, India and China, who still have open sewage. Open sewage.
Yeah.
And they have nowhere to put shit. Every square. Another fun thing to do. Google satellite image, a fucking map of India. Show me a bare spot of land in India. I dare you. There's no land. They got nowhere to go. So everything's up and out into the ocean because they can't fucking burn anything because they burn down their own fucking factories all the time.
It's a goddamn shame, isn't it?
I mean, I don't throw my straws in the ocean. I don't use straws. In plastic shopping bags. I understand why plastic shopping bags.
I do at work.
Because
I do at work only because I have to for food safety. I need a lid and a straw.
Yep.
The plastic shopping bags, the machines they use to crunch up the garbage and the recyclables, those plastic bags turn into goo very, very quickly because it's very thin material and friction with these big round drums with teeth on them. And they're very tight tolerance. And when you get a gob of those bags, it just smears and puts a new plastic overlay on that big drum with the teeth on it, and it jams the machines. That's the entire reason why we ban plastic bags in the United States. Not because we're throwing our plastic bags into the ocean and turtles are fucking dying.
Because where America is now is we're too lazy to make a better machine. Heard. You can't tell me they can't come up with a Teflon coating on that bitch.
You can, but just
I
trust
don't
me, it wouldn't
care.
work.
You know what? America, do better.
They would,
I want a
the
fucking
drum will
plastic
break
bag.
apart.
Do better. Do better. All the way around.
Well,
do
I
better.
find, what's funny as shit is I can go to BJ's or Costco and buy those bags by the case.
Don't tell anybody I told you this, but in the back of my car and down here in the recording area, I've got 4 boxes of when they did the plastic band bag and I was working for Ace Hardware. But I was on the road. I wasn't in store schlepping, screwdrivers. They're like, we got to get rid of these plastic bags. Don't worry about it. I got you. Took them all home. Every last one of them.
Great
Yeah,
trash bags.
Yeah, t-shirt bags.
Yeah,
That's what those
and
are called,
we use them.
t-shirt bags.
We use them
Yep.
for we use them for not only the waste paper baskets in the bathrooms, but if you gotta do a quick carry. Let's say I'm going to Mark's house on Sunday, and I bought stuff for the party the next day, and I put it in the fridge. Well, I didn't come out with a plastic bag when I left the grocery. I'm gonna throw it in this plastic bag, and then when I get to Mark's, I'm like, "What are you gonna do with this plastic bag?" Oh, give it to my wife. She's got a bag full of them. We use them for other things. It's called recycling, people. We didn't have to do this. We did not have to do this. And I will say, I am going to make one comment because, yes, it's the Asian folks, India, China. But
China.
I missed the way you said China.
China.
I got 4 more years of China. If nothing else, that's going to make me happy.
That's all I got
China.
is China.
That's it. And little hands.
It was huge.
But there are those idiots that will go to the beach and bring their 6-pack and bring their plastic bags and then throw it all willy-nilly. Not everybody was raised right. You pick up your own trash, you take it to the trash. That's it. Some of those people leave it, and yes, it does get in the water, and yes, it does get choked on by the fish and turtles and all that bullshit, but that's the few. That's not the many. But what did we do? We catered to the few and not the many. We're going to take away your plastic bags. Well, fuck. Chaka says, my wife always uses the reusable grocery bags. We have a trunk full. That's cool. I have a couple in my car, too.
Yeah, we just order groceries and they deliver them in bags.
You lazy,
Nice
elitist prick. I just order groceries. Fuck the hoi polloi. Fuck the hoi polloi down at the Meijer.
I circumvent the whole fucking store thing. And
I'm not going to Kroger. Fuck those dirty, unwashed scabs.
I just order the groceries and they deliver them when I tell them to. And
where do you order from?
Porch. Walmart. We have a Walmart Express
What's
and
the
Walmart thing in here, and we just.
Is it in Pueblo proper? Like if I looked it up, if I looked it up right now, I would have the address
of what. Like
of the Walmart you order groceries from.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell him to spit on everything you buy because you're an elitist prick.
No, it saves money because we only get what we want. No,
impulse buying.
There's no impulse buying. It also gives us cash back. It gives us cheaper gas at the Walmart gas station. And if you order like $35 worth of groceries, they deliver it right from the store.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. So as long as you order, that's part of your thing. Like we pay like $50 a year for the membership, but it saves us $400 or $500 a year with gas and cash back.
Wow.
It
pays
for itself.
That's pretty cool. Now with the 6
and then
minutes
we don't buy shit like while we're walking through the store. It's just what we want.
With the 6 minutes we have left, the main question tonight was, is Herm the asshole? I'd like to give 90 seconds. I'd like to give 90 seconds to Lynch, and then I'll take my 90 seconds.
I don't think Herm's the asshole. I don't think Herm's the asshole here, and I understand completely what he's saying because most of the people who are complaining have no place to complain, or they didn't have a place to complain, and they put themselves in a situation where, oh shit, this is very crucial now. I'm not denying that things went up over time between 2020 and now. Things have gone up, but that's the normal inflation. It's a little above normal because let me tell you something. Once gas hit over $2 $2 a gallon, it's never going below $2 a gallon again because
Right.
now America's comfortable. Now America's comfortable with paying $2.50. I pay $2.49 a gallon. Gas has gone down significantly since the election results, but that's fake. That's just false advertisement because nobody is going to do anything. That's why the stock market the day of the election is flat. That's why all gas stations the next
I was-
day will lower their prices because
I
they're
was
not going to make
telling Jen
a
that.
fucking.
I said it's that. I said it's market. I said there is an immediate rise in a market every time from one side to the other, depending on what side usually backed. I said there's a
Right.
rebound time. I said what happens is everybody is paused and the futures stop selling for about a week.
The Circle K.
Nobody's buying anything on futures, which is how the gas companies make their money. They get basically it's like pre-orders. You think
The
this
Circle-
amount of money gas is going to be sold. Everybody's on a hold. The gas prices drop while nothing's moving.
When the
They go back up.
when the 2008 election happened, and obviously we were embroiled in a war overseas with Iraq and Afghanistan, and gas prices are through the roof. I remember at one point in 2007, 2008, paying near $4 a gallon for gas. And then the day after the vote came in and Barack Obama was named president-elect of the United States, Lynch, are you going to die?
Please don't die.
Please don't die. The day after the election results hit, that kangaroo station at the corner on State Road 200 in Florida, once I moved to Florida, it wasn't like near $4. It was mid-threes. It dropped to $1.98. Now tell me something. How did that happen in one day? It doesn't happen. They're manipulating the prices to make you believe shit was happening. And you know what happened 2 years later?
They're not even really it's not even manipulation. The prices, it's it's a reflection of what happens in the market right after an election. It's literally it's a little tiny pause in purchasing while everybody readjusts for a second,
Mhm.
and it causes an extreme temporary loss of demand because even though we're already buying the gas we have here, but nobody's actually purchasing gas from them.
Mhm.
So in the few days and a week after an election, as everything settles, you'll see the price go up again because they actually start to buy.
That was going to be my point because by June,
it's just a thing that it happens every time. It's a reflection of the political affecting the economy, but not really. Everybody
because
just holds up for a second.
by June of 2009, after the inauguration, prices went back up on gas. I do have to go to Lynch's point. I don't think in this situation Herm is the asshole. I think we've all illustrated that COVID in the midst of the Biden-Harris administration did a lot of damage, and the way things were run during COVID caused a lot of damage economically to the prices of the things we use and need every day: food, gas, electricity, yada, yada. But what you also have to look at is some of these companies, once those prices went up, you didn't see the incremental down. If you have Eversource here in Connecticut, oh, are you fucked?
I have their stock.
That's different, but
I'm sorry, you guys. I know you're getting fucked, but you're making me money.
right? Everything goes up and down incrementally. The fact that it went up so dramatically was due to the fact that the world shut down for a year and a half. Actually, technically, it was only about 4 months since things started to slowly come up. But as we start to slowly come out of the cocoon, the prices don't automatically come out of that cocoon with us.
No,
I'm
and
not
the numbers right now, and everybody will, I don't think it's doing good, but the numbers don't lie. We're nationally we're at a 4% unemployment rate. Most of the entire fucking country is working. We they've dropped and are planning another drop on interest rates. Inflation is completely matching. Is inflation wages comparatively are outpacing inflation. And as Lynch and I had, and he posted the other night, the average in 1963, that car was about half a year's salary for a mid-level car. Today it's 2024, and your average
still
adult
50%.
salary, it's still about 6 months for a good mid-range car. You're
Yeah.
still going to go drop about $30,000, $20,000 for a mid-range car.
Yep.
That, and that's comparable to the same rate. So, when we were kids, a Big Mac was
About $1.19.
right. Well, $2 when we were working there. Big Mac was $2.
Okay.
And for us at the time, that was half an hour's worth of fucking work.
Just for a Big Mac.
Right. So I can buy 2 or 3 Big Macs for a half hour's worth of work now. So, but for minimum wage, a Big Mac is still less. In a lot of places, minimum wage is very low, especially down south, and that's the problem. That's the other thing, is that a lot of those states run federal minimum wage, which is shit. So federal minimum wage, if they want to do anything, they've got to pick themselves up, so the poor people can actually make a living wage too, and especially like the money here, minimum wage here is $15-$16 an hour. Mm-hmm. So you can't live high on the hog, but you could survive.
My thing with the minimum wage is minimum wage was not built to be a living wage. It was
actually it was. If you
originally
it was, go back to the original plan. It was a way. It wasn't a fast food beginning entry level worker. It was a wage.
I'm talking about in the last 30 years.
Oh, I thought you designed... like when he put it in place when it happened.
No.
I was
because there are people. There were people fucking the system and saying, "Oh well, I'll pay you 30 cents an hour." No, nobody can live on 30 cents an hour unless you live in Appalachia and you grow your own food and you're going to kill Chester the goat tomorrow and make a big stew. That's not going to happen. What people miss about minimum wage is that's entry level. It's not. The system is designed for you to succeed as long as you put the work in. The work in.
Well, that's the problem, is that when minimum wage was actually implemented, it was designed and supposed to be a livable wage for a person to survive on. Corporations, large companies, McDonald's is a big fucking pusher. All right? Companies like that pushed for the concept of entry level. It's starter wage. It is not. Corporate changed the view of that. When minimum wage started, it was designed so that every person had enough money and was earning enough money to live and survive.
But as the supply and the demand cancel it,
as large corporations affected that.
It's not just large corporations, the farms, everything else. As things grow and progress, I don't think that minimum wage or living wage grew with it. And I think a lot of people lost sight in hard work pays off. You can work hard at McDonald's, but are you working as hard as the shipbuilder? Are you working as hard as the mechanic? Are you working as hard as the guy who gets up 30 stories and cleans windows on a skyscraper? The level of what hard work is, I think, has to be taken on a graduated scale. And do I think teachers should be paid more than, say, a lot of other professions? Yes. Yes, I do. Do I think firemen and police officers and first responders should be paid more than a lot of other professions? Yes, I do. But we've lost sight of, I work hard, therefore I should get what that guy gets. No, because what that guy does is a little bit different than, I made the burger, I put it in the box, I slid it down the chute, and then Mary Rottencrotch at the counter took it and handed it to the folks and said, have a nice day. You can work hard at a fast food job. We've all done it. You can work hard at a grocery. You can work hard at the oil change place. But your wage reflects the job you're doing. in my mind, in my opinion. Am I saying that we
Yeah,
shouldn't
but
be giving
what
people?
I'm saying is that's the change in view that has happened, and that is there has been a giant corporate push to keep minimum wage down. And
The corporate pushes to keep it down, not me.
no,
I'm
I
saying
understand that, but that's been the thing. Large corporations and stuff like that have pushed the idea into the system that it's not real money. It's for teenagers. It's shit wage. It's low end. They have completely pushed the narrative that it's not a position worth worth paying anything real. And as somebody deep in the industry, I know that for a fact.
would you pay the McDonald's worker the same thing you paid a
$15
rookie?
an hour? Absolutely. It's what I pay a
No.
dishwasher.
That's not the question. Would you pay the Grill Master Deluxe at McDonald's? I don't know what they call them now. I'm sure they have a cutesy title so people can feel wonderful. Would you pay that guy the same thing you pay a rookie cop?
Well, no.
Okay, but that's what people today want. I want what
Well,
that guy has.
But there's a middle ground to that, and there not everybody wants that. You've got Starbucks cunts that want that, but
Yes.
that's not everybody. Some people just want a livable wage that's decent, $15-16 an hour. Now, I say to the other people, if you don't like the money, if people get paid that for minimum wage, and you don't like the wage that you're getting, you've got to speak up.
Do better.
You do like Gen X does, and every 4 or 5 years, you remarket yourself and see what you're worth and check up and job up.
And
I'm living proof.
And I am too. I'm back to the job I had 30 years ago when I was really busted into the job market, professionally. And that skill that I earned 30 years ago got me a big starting salary at this job. And guess what? I just got a 5% increase.
Nice.
I'm happier than picking shit.
Kahuna's throwing a question out. Go ahead, please. I'm sorry, Lynch.
No, go ahead.
Kahuna threw a question out. We'll close on this, and I think we should take 30 seconds all the way around. He says, can I throw a curveball into the conversation? For someone living outside of the U.S., the government needs to come up with one voting system so everyone votes the same way.
No, we have states here, buddy. That just doesn't work.
That's tough around here because the states are not necessarily autonomous.
We're allowed to do it any way we want to as long as it's fair. Welcome.
I had a conversation with someone earlier today about absentee voting. There are reasons that I like absentee voting, and there are just some people who are too lazy to get off their dead ass and go down to the local school and vote when it comes down to it, and they use an absentee ballot. But that's their choice. I may think they're lazy cunts, but maybe they're not.
Right, but not everybody is, because I'll tell you right now, the hours I work. If I work on Tuesday, I have to absentee ballot vote.
You have to, yes.
Because nobody's open at 6 a.m. and nobody's open at 8:30 at night.
Absolutely. Reading something on the wire before we leave. President-elect Donald Trump announced on Tuesday night that he has selected Army veteran Pete Hegseth as the Secretary of Defense. Wow. Okay. Finally getting someone serious in the position.
He was former security something before. He was a security guy before.
Yep. All right, folks, we got to go. If you're Kahuna, join us at 8 o'clock because I know you like the racing just as much as I do. Herm is still going to be hot and angry and ugly. He's going to tell you to get off his lawn tonight. I cannot wait for this. I think we're all salivating to hear this. But this was fun.
I'm going to listen.
Herm, you're not the asshole. I'm giving you that now. You are an asshole, but you're not the asshole.
Heard, just not the asshole.
All right, folks, join us next week.
Like I said earlier, the answer is always yes.
Heard, yes.
Welcome to the already fixed and rigged game where the answer always is Herm's an asshole. See, he remembers
No, that's the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, my God. We'll see you next week, kids.
Everybody have a great night.
Bye. Have a good week.